From Hollywood. Welcome to the Rat's Ass Podcast with Mojo Elliott.
You know what day it is, don't you? It is S-H-I-T Day. So happy it's Thursday.
Oh, give us a rat's ass.
From the Mojo Studio on Sunset and Vine overlooking the Sea of Crazy. I'm going to take off on another action-packed adventure, and naked or not, you're welcome to come along too.
Let's do it.
Here's what's on tap on the Wrap. Have you heard about the national tax strike? We'll tell you about it. Guess who's running for mayor of Los Angeles? You might be surprised. I was. We've got Americans on the Move Part 2, and I took an AI personality test. Am I a psycho? Stick around and find out. Forbes magazine has released their list of the top 30 rock bands of all time. Let's see if we agree on the top 10. Another round of head traumas on the way. Get ready to play the Showbiz Quiz, plus our usual lunacy and loose behavior, including Mojo's Fucking Funny, and hang on for a good rock tale from TDK today. That's what's happening on the Rat's Ass Podcast for Thursday, January the 8th. Thanks for pressing play and being here. I don't know about you, but it kind of feels like we're in mid-January already. Maybe it's because I looked at the calendar and saw next Thursday will be the 15th, so I feel sped up a little bit. And we just wrapped up about 15 straight days of rain here in L.A. We got 17 inches. 17 inches. When's the last time you had 17 inches? We're going to get back into the upper 60s, mid-70s over the next 10 days, so welcome back, sunny Southern California. I missed you, baby. All right, there is a new feature on the Rat's Ass Podcast blog called Walk of Shame. This is where we're going to honor high-profile individuals who live in the public eye but lack the sense that God gave a pissant. We already have 2 inductees for 2026 already. Saran Mondani, who's pretending to be the mayor of New York City, and the fraudulent and flatulent governor of Minnesota, Tampon Tim No Balls Walls. And we want you to get involved in this process too. Who's next? Send us your suggestions for the walk at ratsasspodcast@gmail.com, and then go check it out. The Walk of Shame on the blog at ratsasspodcast.com. All right, let's get into the wrap. And real quick here, to all the hard asses that play Call of Duty and think you're badass enough to take on ICE, I hope you know that they're really at the point where they're not going to play nice now. If you don't believe me, my brainwashed little dipshits, there's a sale on right now at F.A.F.O. You might want to go check it out. Love you. Mean it. In case you haven't been paying attention, there is a movement made up of angry taxpayers. Don't want to make the taxpayers angry now, do we? They're trying to pull together this nationwide tax strike. Now, this is for people who are 1099 people, or you have to pay a quarterly estimated tax to stay current. The idea here is to band together and refuse to pay your federal government the fair share that they want of our tax dollars so they can waste it on themselves and everybody else but us. Sounds pretty good, doesn't it? Now, let me tell you why it's a bad idea. You know, if you piss off the federal government and the IRS, you can expect an audit every damn year on a regular basis. Just because Trump is the president doesn't mean the IRS isn't a bunch of ruthless pricks. Trust me, you don't need that in your life. That's pure hell when you get that, you're being audited notice. Now, number 2 is the government knows your Social Security number. They know where all your money is stashed. And if push comes to shove, you don't think that they won't go directly into your account and deduct the taxes, the interest, and penalties? Oh, they'll snap it up real quick. So let me just warn you, if you're hell-bent on doing this and want to participate in the national tax strike, you better liquidate and stay liquidated. Sorry to be the voice of reason for you, but it's what I do. 1 year ago on January 8th, I was forced to evacuate my home because of the LA fires. Unfortunately, we were spared. There were thousands of people in Altadena who lost their homes and businesses. You're familiar with what happened in Pacific Palisades, pretty much the same thing, and a few of my neighbors in parts of Malibu lost everything too. Now, to date, reports say only 3 out of 10 people have been able to find help to rebuild. I assume these are the people with connections with the higher-ups getting love. One person who lost everything and has been a bulldog for the people in Pacific Palisades is former reality TV star Spencer Pratt. Yesterday, he announced he's running for mayor of Los Angeles, and the election is this year. Now, I'm not sure how I feel about it yet, but I have to tell you, I'd rather have a dead rhino's carcass as our mayor than Karen Bass, so I guess Spencer has to convince me he's better than a dead rhino's carcass first. But I think my main concern would be, Spencer, you have to be the mayor for all of Los Angeles and just not the Pacific Palisades. Now, this is the one thing that's got everybody pissed off, regardless if they were impacted or not by the fires. Massive reports of fraud and abuse. One being a fundraising group that was headed up by our slumlord governor's wife, Jennifer Newsom, the one allegedly who got a pickle tickle from Harvey Weinstein. That money suddenly vanished. $100 million just disappeared. Went to a bunch of NGOs, and we know what that's all about. Right, Minnesota? During a recent interview, slumlord Governor Gavin Newsom said this about the recovery process. We've made tremendous progress, the fastest debris removal in the history of America in 6 months. That was his comment. Not about how he's helping people. It was all about how quickly the debris was being removed, which, by the way, fell on the homeowners. The state went in initially and did some removal, but the rest of it fell on each of the homeowners. And Newsom is trying to take credit for it by telling you a half-truth. And I swear to God, folks, if shit had eyes, it would be Gavin Newsom. Now, in the last podcast, we told you where Americans are moving from and moving to. Today, I'm going to focus on my state, if you don't mind, of California, and kind of give you an idea of some things you maybe not be aware about. The record number of high-paying corporations who have left the state over the past 7 years since Gavin Newsom was elected governor. If this happened in your state or any other state in America, I guarantee you it would be unoccupied now. Over 100 firms. 100 firms have left California since 2020. Check this list out. Tesla, SpaceX, Oracle, In-N-Out Burger, Charles Schwab, Chevron, Phillips 76, Hewlett-Packard, Toyota of North America. Pretty big companies, wouldn't you say? All of these companies paid high salaries, big taxes, and so did the employees. They bought goods and services that helped other people stay employed. Small businesses stay open. All gone. After Newsom raised the minimum wage for fast food workers to $20 an hour, that's $41,600 a year to basically bag burgers and fries, whip up a few milkshakes. In 1 year, an estimated 18,000 to 20,000 fast food jobs were eliminated. That's a lot in 1 year. A lot of fast food workers who really aren't qualified to do anything else. Gone. Gone! 2 oil refineries are closing down by April. And reports say this will lead to Californians paying $8 a gallon in gasoline. While everybody else is paying $2.50, we're going to be up around $8 a gallon. Hollywood used to be a booming business. Movies, TV shows, now it's a bust. Most of the filming is done in other states, Canada, or another country. It's a ghost town. And when I say we overlook the sea of crazy, I'm serious. It's crazy. So what has Newsom done about all of this? That's the question. Not a damn thing. That's the truth. His attitude has been, fine. You don't want to be here? Go. Didn't lift a finger for anything. Didn't try to make a deal with anybody leaving the movie business in Hollywood. We got a bunch of studios that get used occasionally, but it used to be booming. So what this has led in California is we lead the nation now in homelessness, poverty, drug addiction, the highest gas prices and gas tax in the nation, the highest state taxes, the largest budget deficit, retail theft. Yeah, it's come down, but it's still rapid. And Newsom will tell you that, well, no, we had people growing. We're growing with people here in California. Not true. The growth you hear about is illegal immigration. Illegal immigration, that's who's coming here. But that's how he likes to spin it. But and there's more, but you get the idea of what I'm talking about here. This stupid son of a bitch who thinks he's smarter than everyone else has done more damage to California in 7 years than all 39 previous governors combined. And he's not done yet. He's got 2026 to go. But I'm not going to stop warning you about this doofus. For 3 years, if he runs for president, I'm going to be on his ass, and I'll be polite and say, I'll just bite my tongue on that one. But he cannot be the 48th president of the United States. You'd be speaking Chinese within a month. Now, I don't know how legit this is, but I took an AI personality test by answering a few multiple choice questions and to spit out 12 bullet points explaining my personality. It's kind of like going to a palm reader. But I'm going to share the results with you because Well, I thought these 12 bullet points were kind of right on about yours truly. You want to hear them? You know, because I was watching this Chevy Chase interview just to get off track for a second, and he told the interviewer, "You can't figure me out because I'm too complex." Well, I don't want to be complex. I want you to know who you're listening to. So when I heard these 12 bullet points, I thought, yeah, I can relate to that. But here you go, the 12 bullet points.
1. You're completely fine being alone. You don't need constant company to feel okay. You actually enjoy your own presence. 2. You stand by your opinions even when they're unpopular. You're not changing your mind just because someone doesn't like what you said. 3. You spot manipulation instantly. Someone tries to guilt trip you, you see it from a mile away. 4. You say no without apologizing 47 times afterward. No guilt, no explanation, Essie. Just no. 5. You don't compare your life to others. You're running your race, not trying to keep up with everyone else's highlight reel. 6. Mistakes make you stronger. You learn fast, adapt, and move forward instead of spiraling. 7. A small circle is enough. You'd rather have 3 real friends than 300 fake ones. 8. You're often misunderstood. People think you're aggressive when you're just direct. 9. You think deep. While others are worried about surface-level stuff, you're over here questioning existence. 10. You stay calm in chaos. Everyone's panicking. You're the one thinking clearly. 11. Small talk drains you. You want real conversations, not how's the weather. 12. You can smell a liar from across the room. Your BS detector's unmatched.
Now, unless I'm delusional, I thought AI hit the nail on the head. Then again, AI could give everybody who answers a few of these questions the same as me, the same damn critique. But I thought it was smack dab on. What do you think if you listen to this podcast? Am I delusional or was AI spot on? All right, Forbes magazine just released its top 30 rock bands of all time. I'm going to give you their top 10, so let's see if you agree, and then I'm going to give you my top 10, because I like to compare things. I like to show you mine if you show me yours. All right, number 1, Led Zeppelin. Number 2, Beatles. Queen, Pink Floyd, and Jimi Hendrix Experience rounded up the top 5. Then they gave us the Rolling Stones at 6, Van Halen at 7, the Eagles at 8, Metallica at 9, and AC/DC at 10. Do you agree or disagree with that list? I mean, every one of those bands are fabulous. They're fantastic, very successful. But are they ranked properly? Did they miss yours? Are you going like, oh, that's a bunch of bull? Well, that's kind of what I did. Now, my number 1, too, was Led Zeppelin. AC/DC was number 2 on my list, followed by Van Halen, Aerosmith, and Pink Floyd. At number 6 was Rush, 7 Metallica, 8 Godsmack, 9 Alice in Chains, and number 10 Tool. You know, if you look at their list, it's a lot of 60s and 70s stuff. There's only one band that, you know, was born in the 80s, and that was Metallica. It's on my list, too. I have them 7th. But as you can see, I have a little more depth. Led Zeppelin to Tool. At least I'm into the 2Ks. Now, I've posted the list on the Rat's Ass Podcast Facebook page if you want to check it out. Their top 30. You can connect at ratsasspodcast.com. On the homepage, just find the icon. Give it a little click, and it'll take you right there to Facebook. Okay, rockers and bottom knockers, TDK is here with a very interesting rock tale for you today. Check it out.
In 1979, a British heavy metal band was frustrated and broke as unemployment raged and punk rock took over their country. Right at this time, they were working on album number 6, and they decided to simplify things a little bit. They were inspired by the attitude of punk, and they had just toured with AC/DC, so less complicated riffs seemed like a good way to go. So when their guitar player came up with a cool riff that fit the bill, the singer put some lyrics over the top of it that tapped into the band's frustration and the country's rage. Their vocalist described the song as no future, no opportunity, no respect, so screw it. He sang about taking what you want and not being afraid of breaking the law to get it.
Yeah, of course, TDK is talking about the metal gods, Judas Priest.
This prognosticator of pigskin cashed in on 74% of his picks this season. Here's Mojo Elliott with his spin on sports on the Wrap.
Prognosticator of pigskin. I like it. All right, I know you came for my NFL prediction, so let's get after it. Saturday, the Rams will play Carolina. Green Bay will play the Chicago Bears. I've got the Rams on Saturday to beat Carolina and the Chicago Bears over the Green Bay Packers. Packers have lost 4 in a row. I think they're just dead in the water. I don't think they'll surprise us. Sunday, Buffalo Bills at Jacksonville. We've got San Francisco at Philadelphia and the Los Angeles Chargers at New England. I got Buffalo beating Jacksonville, Philadelphia over San Francisco, and New England over the Chargers. And on Monday night, Houston will travel to Pittsburgh to play the Steelers, and I've got the Texans winning that game. So let's review. We got the Rams, the Bears, the Bills, the Eagles, Patriots, and Texans winning the first round and moving on. As you know, the Raiders fired Pete Carroll after one season. I mean, what's a guy got to do? I mean, he leads the team to getting them the number 1 draft pick, and they fire him for it. Oh, God, the Raiders are going to be paying former coaches $60 million next season. $60 million for doing nothing but playing golf. My God. Oh, this team. Sell the team, Mark Davis. Please, sell the damn team. Now, I would love to see Vegas get John Harbaugh, who was stupidly fired by the Baltimore Ravens after 18 years. But how much fun would it be to see John and Jim Harbaugh, the brothers, go at it twice a year? That would be fun. All right, the college football playoffs continue tonight between Ole Miss and the University of Miami. Tomorrow night, it's Oregon and Indiana to see who plays for the national championship on Monday, January 19th. All right, let's check out the chat box at ratsasspodcast.com. Kevin Stemper said, he's from Eugene, Oregon. He said, how much of a chance do you give Oregon beating Indiana? Well, I think if there's any team that could beat Indiana, it would be Oregon, but I also believe that Indiana, if they lose, they beat themselves. Mark Blandino, Augusta, Georgia. Don't they play golf at Augusta? Sounds familiar. I'm not a golf guy. Just sounds familiar to me. But anyway, he said, do you have any idea who the Falcons are looking at to be their new head coach? Pretty much the same coaches who are in the carousel right now in line for all the other openings. I do hear that Kevin Stefanski, who was fired by the Browns, has the inside track. But, you know, you got to throw John Harbaugh in there, Vance Joseph from Denver, Clint Kubiak from Seattle, and Mike LaFleur, the offensive coordinator from the Rams. They're all in the mix. And that's my spin on sports on the Wrap.
Rat's Ass Podcast. Head trauma.
All right, I'm whipping out the showbiz quiz on you today. This is where I hit you with a question about movies, TV, or music. So pay attention because I'm only going to read it once to make it challenging. All right, name the Aerosmith album that featured nothing but the blues. I'll read that again because I kind of flubbed it. Name the Aerosmith album that featured nothing but the blues. All right, think about it, and I'll have the answer for you coming up here on the podcast.
It's time for some loose behavior on the Rat's Ass Podcast.
Oh, yes, it is. It's been a while, hasn't it? It's time for Mojo's Fucking Funny. Although this might be more truth than funny, haha, let's find out. It's my man, the one and only, George Carlin.
Now, there's one thing you might have noticed I don't complain about. Politicians. Everybody complains about politicians. Everybody says they suck. Yeah! Well, where do people think these politicians come from? They don't fall out of the sky. They don't pass through a membrane from another reality. They come from American parents and American families, American homes, American schools, American churches, American businesses, and American universities, and they're elected by American citizens. This is the best we can do, folks. This is what we have to offer. It's what our system produces. Garbage in, garbage out.
Hey, heads up. Here comes your celebrity cheese.
All right, what do you say we start with a little shock value today? Do you remember the Wonder Years sitcom? How about Winnie Cooper? Didn't we all think, oh, if I was a teenager, I'd love to date somebody like Winnie? Dana McKellicker played Winnie on the show, and she just turned 51. Let me say that again. Winnie Cooper is now 51 years old. Looks pretty good, but she's 51. And there is no truth to the rumor that Danica celebrated by getting the Area 51 tattoo just above her bean. Remember when social media influencer Haley Khalil divorced her husband Matt because his gringo stick was as big as 2 Coke cans stacked and her ditch wasn't digging it? Yeah, his teammates are calling him, Donkey Dick Matt. He's not real happy about it. He's decided to sue his ex-wife over her claim for defamation. And I'm calling BS on this one. Matt, we know what you're doing, buddy. We know that you filed the lawsuit to get free publicity because what you're doing is calling all kitties. It's a calling all kitty cattle call. Now, I said the lawsuit was BS, but using it to advertise for a free kitty cattle call, that's genius. Do you want to hear about Peter Frampton's album, Frampton Comes Alive, turning 50? No? Okay. But it was a great album, though. How about the Golden Globes on Sunday? No again? Elvis would have been 91 today. 91 years old. That's hard to imagine, isn't it? Yeah, today, if it wasn't for those fried nanner sandwiches and a hell of a lot of drugs, the king would still be here with us, probably. You want to go down a walk? Want to take a little walk down memory lane with the King Mumble Baby? The Mumble Baby King? Didn't think so. Okay, yeah, he was way before our time. All right, it looks like Sean Diddy Combs has a bunch of pissed off employees because Diddy stopped paying them while he's locked up in federal prison. Can you blame him? I mean, why would you pay those folks? What are they doing? They should have just, well, he's in prison. I guess we should go get another job. But I guess they were hanging out, still wanting a paycheck. Oh, God, yeah, those people, the freeloaders who like to hang on and get free stuff. He should have just laid everybody off is what he should have done. But I think he just figured that they would, I guess they'll figure it out for themselves. But he's going to be in bed with Bubba until June of 2028. So the employees should have said, hey, no Diddy, no dollars. They should have known. During a live interview on NBC this week, Jodie Foster was being interviewed about her new movie called A Private Life, where she plays a French psychiatrist, and the role requires her to speak French, which Jodie is very fluent at doing, by the way. Me, voulez-vous avec moi ce soir? That's it. That's my extent of French. At one point, NBC's Craig Melvin asked Foster to say, "This is today" on NBC in French. But Jodie goofed it. She said, "This is today on CBS." She asked NBC to cut it, but since the segment was live, you could tell that Melvin was really steaming, clearly perturbed over the whole thing. So my advice to Melvin is, when you ask a stupid question like that live, expect a fucked up answer, okay? Expect a really screwed up answer. And that is a savory slice of celebrity cheese for you.
Who gives a rat's ass?
Rat's Ass Podcast. Email from our Gmail.
All right, this is where anything goes. When you send your comments, questions, and observations to my producer, Fleabag, to ratsasspodcast.com. All right, Steve G., Ocean City, Maryland, said, your prediction about Donald Trump is a reach. That man's ego is so huge, he'll try to find a way to run for president again in 2028 before he'd resign 25 months into his term. Well, time will tell. But you have to admit, I made you think and take a drink over it, didn't I? Beth D., Sherman Oaks, California. Do you think Gavin Newsom will be forced to resign if all the fraud accusations in California are true? Oh, let me get down on my knees while I tell you. While I answer your email, I got to get down on my knees for this one. There has been so much money vanishing in the state of California, Beth. I have to believe where there's smoke, there's fire. And if he's been in on it, I hope that God it destroys his political career. He would be a nightmare of president of the United States. And now I need help getting back up. Monty O, Universal City, Texas. I saw an X where you said the format changed from Jack to Bob in San Antonio was ridiculous. And I listened to this station, and I thought it was odd too. Would you mind explaining why you thought it was ridiculous? Well, Monty, it was more of a joke than anything. A connoisseur who bought the radio station, it's part of their corporate programming structure. They have a Bob FM format that's on every one of their radio stations. This format is called Adult Hits, and that's the same thing Jack does. They just have their own version of it that they're going to implement. Their own brand, so to speak. It's the McDonald's for radio. Because what they're trying to do with this is if they have 50 Bob stations nationwide, they just want to make one music log every day and send it out to everybody. Their way of thinking is, well, it doesn't matter if it's in San Antonio or Detroit, Michigan. You're not going to be in both cities. You're not going to hear it. So they can do one log, save a ton of money, and put it on 50 radio stations. But because I believe in local programming, I just kind of said, you know what? If it's a local radio station, they should have called it Tex, or tie it in with the San Antonio Spurs and call it Wimby. Okay, That's what in fact, you know what? If it was me, I would have stunted. Where you kind of do this thing to get the listener's attention. I would have paid Victor Wembanyama some money to do some voiceover imaging and start the station as Wemby to get everybody in San Antonio talking about it, because he pretty much owns the town with the Spurs. It's their only professional team. Okay, and saying, hey, did you hear that new station called Wemby? They're going to be talking about it. Instead, they're confused between this Jack and Bob thing. And then you get a creative team of writers. And then you create a situation or a story where Wemby transitioned into Bob. Isn't transitioning the end thing to do today? Something like that. I would just have some fun with it. But they did nothing to draw attention about it, so you're confused by it based on your email. But that's why. Brett K., St. Paul, Minnesota. What do you have against ice fishing? I don't have anything against ice fishing. It's got to be as relaxing for us Minnesotans as it is for you on the beaches of California. Brett, my point was that the only people that would move from Florida to Minnesota to do ice fishing is if they opened a daycare center. That's really what I was getting to, compadre. So please understand, I'm not against ice fishing. I mean, if you enjoy ice fishing, do it until your balls turn blue, buddy. Jenny S., Daytona Beach, Florida. I've listened to several of your podcasts, and I'm trying to figure out where in the hell you get your sense of humor. You're just naughty enough. But calling Jimmy Kimmel Jimmy Fuckface and saying he fantasized about taking Donald Trump in his mouth was a little bit out of character for you. Well, not really. But I'm glad you thought so. I don't know what to tell you, Jenny. Outside of I grew up living next door to a TKE college frat house around a bunch of lunatic, deranged frat guys. And prior to doing a podcast, I spent my entire career in the radio business, around carnies, radio carnies, entertainers, and musicians. Plus, my family's out of their damn minds. So I guess it all rubbed off on me. That's the best I can, dissect it for you. Otto M., Frankfurt, Germany. Did you stop keeping track of how many days Britney Spears has been single? Yeah. I know I promised I'd keep doing it until she found a man. But basically, Otto, you know what? You fucked up. You trusted me. Seriously. I thought she would be single for maybe 3 months. She's always went from one guy to another. But after 300 days, it was kind of obvious that Britney is now more of a player, baby. And it's getting kind of obnoxious. I mean, if it's obnoxious for me, I know it's obnoxious for you. All right, but that's why he did it. And you can keep track on your own. I think we left off at 305 days on the, what day did we stop doing? I think it was December 21st we went on vacay. So just do the math yourself, okay? Knock yourself out.
Rat's Ass Podcast. Head trauma.
All right, have you figured out today's showbiz quiz? The question was, name the Aerosmith album that featured nothing but the blues. If you said Honkin' on Bobo,
Yeah, baby.
you are correctamundo. But if you missed it, go see a doctor about your head trauma and get well soon. All right, I got to split. I'm hungry. I got to go to Jersey Mike's. I'm going to pick up my Italian sub, and I'm going to get it Jersey Mike's wife's way. That means extra meat, fellas. All right, but first, today's real or riffraff. Did you know there is a disease called fatal familial insomnia? This is where you eventually stop sleeping and you just die. Alexa, is this real or riffraff?
That is not riff-raff. It's actually 100% real, Mojo.
Yeah, that's correct. It is real. Alexa, do you know if there's a cure?
No, there is no cure for fatal familial insomnia.
I mean, that's crazy. Isn't that a crazy way to die, don't you think? You just stop sleeping and then all of a sudden you just... Well, I guess you can't say you went to sleep and didn't wake up again. That wouldn't make sense, would it? Just an insane way to go, don't you think, Alexa?
I can give you a list of the 100 worst ways to die than lack of sleep. Would you like me to rattle them off for you?
No, let's not say you did.
Wow, that was a lot. I hope it was as good for you as it was for me.
And that is how you mess with a bimbot's mind. Welcome to Rat Nation to all 628 members. Colleen Murphy, Norman, Oklahoma. Derek Obasachi. Oh, God, this is a hard name. Odabasachi, Warwick, Rhode Island. Sorry, Derek. Jamie Cranston of Rockford, Illinois, and Brandon Keys of Reno, Nevada. And around the world to listeners in Liverpool, England, Brasilia, Brazil, and let's see, Georgetown, Cayman Islands. And this is a new one, Lublin, Poland. Thanks for checking out the Rat's Ass Podcast.
Now's your chance to be one of the few and the loud. Join Rat Nation at ratsasspodcast.com. Membership does have its rewards, you know.
Do make sure you check out ratsasspodcast.com to get the entire Rat's Ass Podcast experience. You can listen to shows, read the blog. It's loaded with lots of hot topicality, including the Walk of Shame. Watch and listen to Rat's Ass Rock TV, now featuring January. Join Rat Nation and catch up with us on the socials, too. We'll do this again on Monday. That will be what? January 12th. Take care of each other. And thanks for stopping by the Rat's Ass Podcast.
The conversation continues between podcasts on X and ratsasspodcast.com. ratsasspodcast.com.